What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, alongside my partner Ryan, who, again, obviously didn't get the memo about Dress Shirt Sunday. Just a fucking white t-shirt. Alright, that's cool.
I thought we weren't gonna do that.
It's Dress Shirt Sunday. That's our thing. It's Dress Shirt Sunday.
Last time you threw a fit about that. You said we shouldn't do that.
That's our thing now, though. I thought you understood it. And now it's like, that's our thing we do.
You never told me. Because you were like last time, we can't wear the same shirts because that... What the fuck, man? Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I gave you the memo, and that's... Now we're clear that that's Dress
Shirt. What memo? Did you fly a plane across Florida with a sign? I didn't see anything.
I gave you a phone call. Like, you didn't get my phone call?
Never got a phone call.
I texted you as well.
Never got a text.
Email.
No.
Postcard. I wrote a very well written letter to you as well. So that's 4 of. I have numerous others, but like I sent a page to you as well.
You paged me?
Yeah.
I don't even have a.
You didn't keep your pager?
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Is this really taking place?
Yeah. That's our thing. It's Dress Shirt Sunday. That's what we do. I have my dress shirt.
That's fucking ridiculous. I'm not even...
That's not our...
No, it's not our thing because last time you threw a fit like a little bitch because we had the same shirts on. It was too close. V-necks all day, baby. White V-necks all day. Gets the pussy. I'm sorry. Want to do the video now? I've had enough. Communication skills are shit on your end. I didn't get nothing from you.
There's other ways to get the pussy. Too. I made a billboard as well.
You made a billboard?
It's on Highway 70. It's by my house. It brought us closer together as a group. If that's how it's gonna be, that's how it's.
I can't believe this is happening right now.
That's how it's going to be. On this edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, we're going to give you our Pulse Topix show. Ryan, just getting back from his trip to Florida. Did you have a fun time?
I did. I got a little sunburnt.
Did you? I saw it. Yeah.
A little bit, a lot sunburnt.
Lots of sunburnt. I see you peeling on your ear right
sunburnt.
there.
Yeah, and it is unbelievably true. I was in Orlando. And the majority, I saw 90% of the people in Orlando are 90% of the people that are in that crowd.
And yeah. Oh, yeah.
Redneck.
Oh, yeah.
Redneck retards.
Yeah.
Well, redneck, that's not, does that make sense? No? Redneck?
Tropical. Trailer park, incest, fucking just people.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. There was a lot of very nice looking people as well, but the majority of the people I saw there had really yellow socks. They were at one time white.
I mean, that's a good way to tell what you're dealing with. I mean, right. Yellow socks.
Right.
Get the fuck back. Yeah, indeed. I'm glad you had fun there. Me and Quaddy had fun holding the fucking
the 40
down.
Apparently, you didn't even know I wasn't even gonna be here.
Yeah, holding the fort down here. So, glad to have you back, and we're gonna be getting this kicked off here with Topic Show. I haven't done one in a little bit. And we're going to kick it off here with the first topic, one that has really just came out of nowhere from this recent edition of Impact Wrestling from TNA, which would be Chris Sabin defeating Bully Ray to become the new TNA World Champion after cashing in his X Division kind of contract, you want to say, of how if you're X Division champion, you get to go for the World Championship at Destination X. No longer a pay-per-view, only having 4 a year now. Turning this into a kind of special Impact, which they've done in the past, kind of made Impacts built to those kind of special things that they do on Impacts. Remember those back in a couple years ago that they used to do there. And just this coming absolutely out of nowhere. I'm a absolutely huge Chris Sabin fan, and to see this, I'm just sitting there, got off work, kind of watched it or whatever, kind of figured that was like, okay, let's just kind of run through the paces here. Bully Ray will retain, and we're kind of moving on, and because we could definitely see this heading into a Bully Ray and, you know, match up with whoever wins the Bound for Glory series, maybe taking down Aces and Eights, and just doing this here, it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's amazing, but it makes you think about what the fuck they're doing here. Because, I mean, there's tons of talk about backstage in TNA and the morale being really low, about how, the attendance at shows really aren't anything too special, and taking things on the road, and the pay cuts, and everybody getting, shown the door, and everybody, a lot of just the morale, you could just tell just watching the product. I mean, a lot of the last couple weeks of Impact have been really great television. I mean, I've sat in there and they've really built this stuff really well. So just hearing this kind of come out of nowhere, where, I can understand the pay cuts and all this kind of stuff with them taking it on the road. They haven't done that ever before, at least with Impact. They've done it with the pay-per-views, but doing this, I was thinking maybe it would be a step up, because getting it out of the Impact Zone, as we mentioned so many times before, is so fresh, and I love the idea of doing a live show and then taping the show right after that and playing it the next week, still having the live atmosphere, but not being, 2 live shows back to back, but and then seeing the attendance for house shows, which are weak as hell. Pay-per-view buy rates still aren't anything at all, which that just goes for all of wrestling, but even more so with TNA, obviously making the cuts to the only 4 pay-per-views a year. So not having enough revenue for even the weak pay-per-view buy rates that they had in the past with the 12 months, or the 12 pay-per-views a year. They only have that with 4. They're doing those one-night onlys. I haven't heard anything about what the buy rates for those are. I know they're cheaper, but I'm assuming nobody's really buying those at all. It kind of looks like they want to make some big moves to turn some heads and to maybe, get some people paying attention, because they've been rolling with the Aces and Eights thing. Bully Ray is great as the character he's doing. We've talked about that numerous times of what they're doing there, and it's kind of long drawn out things that they've been doing in TNA to really build story, and I think they've done a great job with a lot of their story building and the things that they've done, and they've really done this Aces and Eights thing and Bully Ray and stuff with Hogan and Brooke and Sting and all this kind of shit. They've built it up for over a year and a half now, so I mean they've really taken some time and effort into building these stories, but sometimes it just doesn't get it there for most people, and they don't like to. A lot of wrestling fans have a lot of attention deficit problems, or attention deficit, ADD problems. I don't know why I just cut 2 words out of ADD, where they do that, attention deficit disorder problems, where they're just really impatient, and they, a lot of people can't follow along to that kind of stuff. So seeing these kind of impactful things, maybe they're thinking it's going to turn some heads. It definitely turned my fucking head to thinking, like, what the hell is going on? But it's, outside of all those problems that we see, let's get to the good part of it, which is Chris Sabin just won the TNA World Championship, and it just blows my mind to think that, because never in my mind would I think of Chris Sabin as a world champion. But then again, you start thinking about guys like, 10 years ago, did you ever think a guy like AJ Styles, or a guy like CM Punk, or a guy like Bryan, or Daniel Bryan? Those kind of guys were never looked at that, because that's not what people looked at as world champions in huge companies. And it took guys like AJ and Punk and Daniel Bryan and Austin Aries, who's also in TNA as well, those kind of guys to open doors for guys like Chris Sabin, who've worked their fucking asses off for the company to provide really the most entertaining facet of their product, which was the X Division for the longest time, and a guy like Sabin and guys like Shelley and Petey Williams and Loki and all those kind of guys that were really great facets of the X Division outside of like the Godfathers of the Styles, Joes, and Daniels, those kind of guys. It's great to see that, and we were talking about how if it's maybe something where they're trying to go with guys that are deserving. We're talking about maybe about a guy like Christopher Daniels as well. Those kind of guys that maybe if they're going towards that side of things, which it's just so hard to dissect this with this happening so quickly, and what process they've gone through in their minds to think of why they want to do something like this, and we have no idea what's going to be happening in the future, which is a good thing, but it's kind of one of those scary, don't have an idea what they're doing into the good things. It's always good to have something like that, but whenever it's like, what the fuck are they doing kind of good things, is, it kind of scares you a little bit of the time. But Chris Sabin's your world champion. It's fucking awesome. Something I would never even dreamed of, being a Chris Sabin fan, and a guy who was through and through just a guy that's been known for a great worker and being a great X Division star, breaking out here. And I think a lot of the things could have had to deal with his, obviously 2 huge injuries to both of his legs. I mean, I could see a guy like Hulk Hogan being like, well, he had to work his ass off to get to here, and he could kind of work himself up, that whole boyhood dream kind of thing, but to where he's always dreamed about that kind of thing. But they just did it so fast, and you could have, you could have made so much more out of this if it would have been built up a little bit more for us to expect it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not good to want to expect things, but when it's just built up so perfectly and you're like, okay, this is the culmination of what they're building to, and then finally have it come to fruition here, it was just like that. But in just a sloppy, shitty fucking match on an Impact that they built up over a couple weeks and then just have him win the title, it's like, what the fuck is this? It's just so weird, and we've seen facets of the booking in TNA be like this before. But outside of that, fucking amazing and awesome to see like a guy like Chris Sabin win the World Championship here. But it's just kind of one of those scary things. You're like, what the hell is TNA doing here? But it should be some really interesting stuff to go, on in the future and the weeks to come and the couple days to come to see what happens on Impacts further going along here, getting on to the road to the fall and going on to Bound for Glory to see what's going to be possibly happening there. If Bully, Ray gets the title back, if they run with Sabin, whatever they're going to do, it should be some really interesting stuff with Chris Sabin defeating Bully Ray on this past edition of Impact.
Yeah, this was kind of unexpected. I kind of joked about it, talking about, oh man, would they really give Chris Sabin the title here? Like, I really didn't see the point of why they did the thing with Suicide, had Aries play Suicide, win the title, and then the next week have Sabin beat him. Maybe it was to make him credible. Then they have Aries backstage talking to him, and saying, hey, blah, 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 I beat Rude, and Rude was a main eventer, and you beat me last week, and you can beat Bully Ray, and I beat Bully Ray, you beat me. Like, they did this whole thing, like, can you legit beat him? And Sabin didn't legit beat him. He used a weapon or something, and it was kind of, sloppy or whatever. But, I don't know. I think it's cool, but it's exactly like, I feel like, the end of WCW, where they were kind of throwing shits at the wall and seeing what would stick. And like we talked about, me and him talked about how they gave the title to a Booker T who deserved it. They gave the title to like a Lance Storm and guys like those who for all this time were building, getting built up and the deserving. They were the guys who deserved to win these titles because they've been busting their asses. And guys like Mick Foley and Kane and Mark Henry who've been there around so long, and they've done what everyone wants them to do. They've busted their ass. When TNA asked this, hey, you're going to do this, and that's the way it is, and then they just agree, and then that just happens. I feel like down the line, this thing for Chris Sabin is going to happen for a guy like a Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, it may be a lot longer for a Kofi Kingston because you're looking at a broader spectrum, but giving him, and I think like this, he said, a sticking at the wall kind of thing for Sabin to just kind of see what this is going to go into. I 100% do not see Sabin going into Bound for Glory as a champion. I can't see that being the main event of the show. It's one thing to have a guy like an Austin Aries win, who is a complete total package, who is a worker, who is a talker, who is a complete personality, who can get the crowd behind him.
Sabin doesn't have all that. No.
Sabin has the working ability. Yeah. Sabin doesn't have that personality, that big.
He doesn't have that it factor feel either.
Yeah,
he doesn't have that.
He doesn't have that it factor feel, and he still looks like an X Division guy. He doesn't come to the ring. He's just one of those
great workers
that got that title thrown on him. And it's interesting to see what they're going to do. Like I said, the struggles that TNA's going through right now, being on the road, and the morale and the viewership being low, and getting rid of Tara and possibly getting rid of Doc and some other people, D'Lo, and Bruce Pritchard left, and maybe he's like,
Joey Ryan, I think, got fired as well.
Joey Ryan, so
Matt Morgan's gone. Now I'm just remembering these kind of names, yeah.
Yeah, so guys like these who are falling out of there, and Bruce Pritchard makes me think, well, Bruce Pritchard's leaving. Maybe he's thinking he's seeing something, and he's not too happy with what's going on. He's got to get the hell out of here before some ships start sinking. But other than that, TNA is, they're trying to get things motivated and get things going here. I really don't know what they're going to do here. Like I said, if they do have Sabin hold on to it and go straight through to Bound for Glory, I don't know who he would face. I really don't know what would make any sense. AJ Styles would be a great match. Yeah. Jeff Hardy would be another interesting match, with the facets of how they got these guys wrestled. But I don't know. I can't really see what they're going to... It's like you said, it's a scary kind of, okay, what are they going to do next week on Impact? What the hell is going to happen?
Yeah.
You got Aces and Eights running thing. It's all over the place. Like I said, they're just throwing things and seeing what's going to stick. They don't have that luxury of a guy like a Daniel Bryan being so massively over that they just like, we got to let this guy just go, and just do whatever. And the crowd just wants it so badly. I don't really think the crowd wanted Sabin to win. I think it was just kind of like, what happened?
Huh?
So, but yeah, it's interesting to see. It definitely adds a bit of intrigue to Impact and seeing what's going to happen. I'm definitely going to try to check it out and see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, what TNA's goal was, is really to just bring more focus in and just to... It doesn't matter if it's so out of nowhere, just kind of like, what the hell. If it's going to turn heads no matter what, then that's what they were going for. And to bring more, people to their product and bring more people over, to watch their, weekly show and to see, well, what the fuck are they going to do next if they're going to have world titles change and stuff. And we got to see why they did this. But it's something to where it kind of sucks for a guy like Chris Sabin because we love him and he's such a great worker. And for so long we've followed a guy like that. And we want to be really excited for him, but we just have this kind of just scary thought of like why they were doing this. So it kind of takes away from Chris Sabin, and it more focuses on the problems with TNA and booking and all that kind of shit and the backstage kind of shit that we don't want to focus on. We want to focus on the talent in the ring and a great professional wrestler, which is a Chris Sabin. But unfortunately, we think about the outside shit too much when we get unexpected kind of weird just weird shit like this that just comes out of nowhere and kind of like, whoa, all right, that's interesting. But we definitely will be definitely tuned in to see what's going to be happening in the future with TNA and your new world heavyweight champion in TNA, Chris Sabin. Next up, speaking of Daniel Bryan, which Ryan mentioned a little bit earlier, we're going to be talking about John Cena and Daniel Bryan's upcoming match at SummerSlam. Making this happen this past week on Raw with that just insane segment with just how fucking over Daniel Bryan is. And we've talked about it for going on years now, which is how long it has been since he's been so over in WWE. And that amazing segment where they had John Cena, Brad Maddox go out, the new GM, come out and say John Cena can handpick his opponent at SummerSlam. And going out there and kind of running through the stars, and everybody's just kind of waiting for that impending, I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan kind of thing, and then just the whole fucking crowd, erupting. And we have to mention, to toot a little bit of our horn, about our last topics video, about how we talked about a possibility of seeing a Daniel Bryan-John Cena match for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. I believe we said that at the beginning of June. Mm-hmm. That'd be 2 months ago here coming up. So, not to say we told you so, but I mean, if you listen to the Pro Wrestling Pulse, you guys know it out there. I mean,
suck our dicks.
Pretty much. I mean, we got our shit down. So, yeah, but I mean, it's just with how over, and like Ryan said, when you have a guy that over, like what happened with CM Punk and how over he was with after that promo, what you were doing going into Money in the Bank in 2011, you just have to put those guys in the limelight and have to put those guys in those big quality matchups with a John Cena at your second biggest show of the year, which is SummerSlam. And we cannot fucking wait. It's going to be fucking tremendous. I mean, they're talking about possibly, getting in there with just breaking things down outside of the characters and how over they are. We could mention all day about Daniel Bryan's working ability and the quality that he puts in the ring, and John Cena, how he can go with anybody in there and kind of mold with anybody that he gets in there with. And a lot like what we've seen with CM Punk and John Cena in the past, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff with Daniel Bryan and John Cena into the future here at SummerSlam. We cannot wait because we know it's going to fucking deliver. I mean, any Daniel Bryan ever fucking match delivers. I mean, it just happens all the time. And John Cena nowadays, he's just the guy that goes in there and can work with anybody. A guy who is never mentioned to be, versatile. He can get in there with guys that if he's not the guy that has to be carrying the match, if he gets in there with a guy like Daniel Bryan who can carry anybody in a match, it's going to be fucking tremendous because he brings that bigness and that, epic match feel every single time. And doing it at a SummerSlam is going to bring that, absolutely going to bring that here. So cannot fucking wait for this matchup. Going to be tremendous. That segment that they had on this past Raw, a lot of segments that they had on this past Raw was really tremendous. WWE is just so fucking on fire right now. It's not even funny. We were mentioning that before this video. But a lot of the things are just hitting on all cylinders here. And the stuff going on with CM Punk and Paul Heyman and Lesnar going into SummerSlam. I can't even mention how much I love that segment with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. I was just eyes glued. They could just fucking read a phone book and make you intrigued. And with the stuff that they're doing, I mean, it's going to be fucking tremendous going into that. But it all being highlighted here with the top of the card, being an upcoming WWE Championship match with John Cena and Daniel Bryan. Going to be some fucking great stuff. Great to see a Daniel Bryan get this opportunity going into SummerSlam here with how over he's been. It's going to be some fucking great stuff, and we cannot wait for it at all at SummerSlam with this John Cena and Daniel Bryan matchup.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Like I said, I was on vacation, so I didn't catch this live. I did catch a replay of it And I'd heard Daniel Bryan, Cena picked Daniel Bryan as his, I'd had read some stuff on it, and I was pretty excited, and I watched the segment at the end. And I thought it was genius. I loved to see how over a guy like a Daniel Bryan is, and for the champion to pick his challenger, not a guy to win. Just go out there and just him run through the roster and have all those people standing out there and say this and say that and blah blah blah. And just how nonchalantly John Cena made it. Like he was saying all this stuff, how oh, it's a hard decision, this hard decision that. Danny just made it was just 100% sure that's who exactly he won. He's like, I'm gonna face Daniel Bryan.
Right.
It was just like outstanding. That's wonderful. I think that's absolutely genius move. That's a match I think a lot of fans have wanted to see for a long time. You have that, like he said, that big time feel of a John Cena always being in there in a world title match, and you have anybody who can somewhat work, and you have Daniel Bryan, who is arguably the best worker of our generation, and when it comes to professional wrestling, getting in there with a guy like John Cena who has that big time feel, and you have that match. It's like a Stone Cold versus Bret Hart type match, and you look at those clashing of styles, you could be looking at the best match of the year. I mean, it's not a reach to say that.
No.
You look back 5-6 years ago and you talk about a John Cena and you're like, man, this guy's he's still not that great of a worker and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, when you put down top 10 matches by any wrestler in WWE history and you line up John Cena's top 10 matches, it is up there with every other wrestler in the company ever. Like, you throw together John Cena's top 10 matches, and it's up there with Bret Hart's top 10 matches. It's up there with Shawn Michaels'. It's up where it's up there. Like, Cena has become that guy who can work with these guys and who's molded into that awkward type wrestler who can put on great matches and generate that buzz. And this is a match that alone I think is going to sell the pay-per-view itself, and the Lesnar and Punk and those two big matches right there. But this is a one that I think a lot of fans, going back to the early to mid 2000s, like, when you had Daniel Bryan just eating up the indie scene, just killing it when he was champion and just putting on the best matches that have ever taken place in the indie scene. And you have Cena, who was the champion at that time in the mid 2000s, just being hated. Just if you
total 180 of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. You look at that. If you were back that far as a fan, you jump into where it is now, and you look at. I still would say Dan Bryan is in a prime of his career. I don't think he's lost a step. I think he can still work, and I think Cena's in the prime too. I don't think he's getting out out of shape or losing it like a Stone Cold or a Rock or a guy like that. He's still in there.
And the more important thing, he's in the prime of his working ability. Because he's gotten better every single year, and every single step. You could see the transition of his work rate. As far as nobody ever doubts John Cena's conditioning. With how big a muscular guy can get like that, his cardio is fucking unbelievable. And to carry... Yeah, I mean, you go back and look at that match with CM Punk at Money in the Bank. CM Punk's the one that looks like he's the fucking tired one in that match, and John Cena's just, okay, here we go. Just fucking, people shit on him for not selling, but it's because he's a fucking cardio monster. I mean, that dude it's ridiculous.
So, but yeah, this match is going to be absolutely outstanding. Yeah. This is the most, to me, since Taker Punk, this is the most anticipated match since this year I've wanted to see. Oh, yeah. Those were the two matches I wanted to see in 2013 was Punk and Taker and Daniel Bryan and Cena, and they're both going to take place. One's already taken place. This is, you bet your sweet ass I'm going to be...
Oh, Rock and Punk at the beginning of the year. We wanted to see that.
Rock and Punk, too, was another one that we talked about. More for the promo and the kind of back and forth. The match itself, we were kind of like, oh, yeah.
It could be good. Never know.
But still, this is something that a lot of fans and us in particular, we're... when we do this review of SummerSlam, it's gonna, if this match shows up, you're gonna have jizz everywhere.
Because of exactly like what he said of how you look back in the past. If you go back to when they were all joking about Daniel Bryan on his farewell speech in Ring of Honor back at Glory by Honor in 2009, and they were all talking like, oh, you need to go in there and kick John Cena's ass, and we were like, God, we don't even know if he'll ever get in the ring with a John Cena, and now seeing it now, it's like. Arguably the best indie star ever, outside of like a CM Punk, but to go in there with the prototypical, guy, it's so great when you get those different dynamics and total 180s of how people are. That's why it was so great when CM Punk and John Cena got in the ring, because not only did the story tell itself by how different these guys are, just like the Rock and Austin things, and like he was talking with Austin and Brett and all those kind of things as far as the working ability goes. But when you get those completely different character dynamics in there, it just makes for a great story. And then when you have amazing working ability to go on top of that, it just puts it over the top, and it's gonna be so great to see. And like Ryan said, if this comes and really delivers at SummerSlam, we're gonna be fucking jizzing all over ourselves because we know what this can deliver. That's why we've been talking about it for so long. So definitely cannot wait for SummerSlam for a lot of reasons, but definitely for John Cena and Daniel Bryan's WWE Championship match there. Next up, we're going to be going into Ring of Honor here. I haven't talked about Ring of Honor in quite some time. And there is actually some stuff to be talking about here with the world title situation. Jay Briscoe coming out, and Ring of Honor was playing it off after Best in the World, after they had, and the two brothers face off each other, Jay and Mark, come out and say how there was lingering injuries with Scum and that fucking horrible ass shit they got going on there, coming out and taking out the Briscoes or whatever, and just recently on TV taking out Mark Briscoe and the concussions and all this kind of shit, shoulder injury, whatever they're playing off here. And we all thought it was the end of the Briscoes in Ring of Honor. Guys that you look at outside of the guys we just mentioned earlier, the CM Punk and the Daniel Bryan guys, guys that were day one, for Ring of Honor, and really the godfathers of Ring of Honor. You look at the Briscoes. And possibly seeing them go. They were at a WWE house show a couple weeks ago, so it was really looking like they were going to be doing that. Right now, it's kind of up in the air what's going on. I know Mark Briscoe is in this tournament that we're going to get to talk about here in a minute. I believe you did say that he did re-sign?
I believe he re-signed.
Okay. So
I heard some stuff. I mean, unless they're signing him for, this match or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'd heard rumblings of the Briscoes in WWE, so I mean, there's all kinds of different things that's taking place, but
we know it's been talked about for so long about WWE really looking at going towards the Briscoes, but
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, but they do have Mark Briscoe for this tournament.
Jay's not in this tournament. We don't know really what's going on with Jay so far. You can't really tell. If you're kind of the casual fan watching Ring of Honor, which I know a couple of people that are, and really they don't realize how a little bit behind they are with some things. I know their house shows are really the things that they look forward to building things, but with the TV being about a month or so or a couple weeks behind. So it is kind of hard to tell what they're doing with all this stuff happening now and seeing the Briscoes on TV. So should be some interesting stuff here. But I know they have this tournament kicking off here in, I believe, the beginning of August. Or no, sorry, the end of July. They actually have it, I think, on the 27th, I believe. That will be going until, I believe, September at Death Before Dishonor, where they were going to crown a new world champion with the whole Briscoe situation. Whatever it ends up being, ends up going down there, they are vacating the world championship and going to be crowning a new one at Death Before Dishonor. So what we decided to do is maybe we might be able to get the bracket behind us. I know we found the full bracket, and Ryan mentioned, we should do like a little bracket thing and go down and see what we got for it. And they actually did have a full bracket ready with the 16 competitors. Well, they have an extra 17th. They have a winner of two young guys that are going to be going in here as well. But we decided to kind of break this down and go match by match and try and decide what's going to end up happening at Death Before Dishonor, what's going to end up who's going to end up being the new world champion. So we're going to go. So we haven't really set this up to like how we're going to do a Pro Wrestling Pulse style and just fucking wing it.
Yeah.
We're going to go down the first set of matches and we'll go back and forth. So we'll both say our winner. Well, first we'll mention the 16 that are in it. We have Mark Briscoe, Adam Cole, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Tommaso Ciampa, the winner of Young and Page. We were trying to figure out like what the fuck are their names?
Young
like we couldn't even figure. Is it Adam Page? That like
Adam Page,
that 15-year-old fucking looking trucker boy or whatever.
Yeah,
trucker boy.
Adam Page and I don't know who Young
Thaddeus
is.
Young.
Thaddeus Young.
Or it's Tadarius Thomas. So I know it's not Tadarius Young. Is it Thaddeus Young? I think it is.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
I think it's a young black man.
Yeah,
I believe so. Racist. Sorry. We have Michael Bennett. Now being called Michael Bennett. B.J. Whitmer, Carl Anderson, ACH, Paul London, Michael Elgin, Matt Taven, Roderick Strong, Brian Kendrick, and last but definitely not least, Kevin Steen. So we're going to go match by match. They have all the matches listed here. And we're going to go, I guess, through the first set of rounds. I know the couple middle ones I think they're going to be doing first, and then it kind of branches out until like the middle of August. They get all the, or not the middle of August, kind of beginning of August, they get all the first rounds done. The second rounds get done in the middle of August. I think that probably around the semis or whatever we get done, probably at the end of August, at the beginning of September, and then the finals are at Death Before Dishonor in New York City in September. Okay, so the first match set up, it's back there. I don't know when the fuck it is. We have Mark Briscoe and Adam Cole. Really great matchup there. I'm going to go with Adam Cole winning that matchup.
I got Adam Cole over Briscoe also.
Yeah, so it could be a guy that they're really focusing on right now with possibly adding him into Scum, which, God, don't even put Adam Cole close to fucking Scum. That fucking shit. We have Jay Lethal versus Sanjay Dutt, a match we've seen in TNA before and all over the indies. These guys have seen each other a lot. I'm going to go with Jay Lethal here, another guy that's kind of definitely moving up the card.
Yeah, I got to go Jay Lethal over Sanjay also.
We have Tommaso Ciampa going up against the Young Page winner. We told him we just want to combine them into one person.
Young Page.
Hey, what's up? I'm Young Page. Could be just the
Young Dallas Page.
Yeah, it's the name of Dallas Page. Diamond Dallas Page's son. So from Young Page. That'd be funny. Obviously going with Tommaso Ciampa in that one.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa also.
Sicilian Psychopath moving on to the second round. Next up we have Mike Bennett and BJ Whitmer. Definitely go with Mike Bennett here. A lot of talk of Mike Bennett possibly going to WWE over the past couple months. I know he came out and cut a promo saying how he might do that. That could end up happening too in the long run, but definitely go with Bennett in that matchup.
Yeah, I got Mike Bennett as well.
Going on to the bottom half of this bracket, we have Carl Anderson and ACH. I'm going to go with an upset here. Either way is going to set up a great match with who we get to next, but I'm just going to go with ACH here just for the lone fact that he's just part of the main Ring of Honor roster, and a lot of these matches are going to take place on just random house shows, so getting a guy like Carl Anderson who travels all the fuck over the place, so I mean you could definitely see him going any form or fashion on this roster. I'm going to go with an upset here, and I'm going to go with ACH getting the win here to set up an interesting matchup in the second round.
Yeah, I got Carl Anderson winning over this one. Our only kind of flip,
only flip that we have here. I could see either way. I understand Carl Anderson would be the one to definitely win over that one, but I'm only going with the logistics and being on the roster thing for the only reason for that. Next up, we have Paul London and Michael Elgin. This is one that was supposed to be set up for I think Best in the World that they ended up not doing because of Paul London getting fucking destroyed by Davey Richards. Interesting people that are not in there, Davey and Eddie, obviously the American Wolves, so obviously you'll probably be seeing them getting the tag titles pretty soon, so that'll be fucking great with feuding with Red Dragon. But this one could be some really good stuff as well after that foot stomp to Paul London's face where he got knocked out and somehow finished that match. Great to see guys like London and Kendrick back here, but I'm going to definitely go with Michael Elgin here.
Yeah, I definitely got to go Michael Elgin.
Definitely looking at Michael Elgin. I kind of favor going in through all these kind of guys. Next up, we have the TV champion. The hoopla is all over the place with Matt Taven going up against Roderick Strong. It's really sad to see what they're doing with Roderick Strong here. A great worker, but really, it hasn't been doing jack shit over the past couple months. Definitely going with Matt Taven here, just more over guy right now.
Yeah, I think Matt Taven steals the win in this. I think he doesn't get
definitely with the involvement of Truth Martini. You're probably going to see a lot of stuff with the former House of Truth stuff with Roderick and with Truth being with Taven right now. So obviously see some Truth Martini stuff right there. Next up, we have Brian Kendrick going up against Kevin Steen, kind of an old school indie kind of matchup here, and I'm definitely going with Kevin Steen winning that one.
Yeah, I got to go Kevin Steen in that one as well.
Next up, we have the second round of matches. I think, like we said, it's a couple weeks or whatever after the first set. We got Adam Cole. I have set up Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal. I think you do as well.
Yeah.
This is where we flip-flop here. I would love to see Adam Cole go to the final. I'd love to see Adam Cole win this. If I were to pick a guy out of all this, we've seen Steen with the title before. Everybody else besides Michael Elgin and Adam Cole are the only ones that you'd really want to see out of this. I'd love to see Adam Cole as the Ring of Honor World Champion. That'd be my pick if I was booking this shit. But he's got some other stuff going on, PWG side of things. But I'm going to go with Jay Lethal winning this matchup here to set up what I'll explain to you guys in the long run here.
Yeah, I got Adam Cole beating Lethal here going on.
Gotcha. Next up, I have Tommaso Ciampa going up against Michael Bennett. You have that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Ciampa getting the win in this matchup.
I got Ciampa winning that also.
Okay. Next up, I have ACH, obviously the upset of over Carl Anderson. I got ACH going up against Elgin. I think you kind of got one of those set up like one of those old school TNA matches, like a lot of old school and really indie matches overall, where you have the kind of smaller, athletic, high flying guy against that just kind of bruiser, great working, bigger guy. A lot of those kind of like Joe and Sabin or Joe and AJ or Daniels, or really any of those kind of guys that you used to see back in the past. Definitely go with Elgin winning that matchup there.
Yeah, I got Elgin over Anderson here. I think
that'd be the shit too.
Yeah, I think that match could be really good.
Still like stiff kind of shit you could see in that kind of stuff. Next up, we got Matt Taven going up against Kevin Steen. Obviously, Steen turning face, and you got Taven as that kind douchey kind of heel or whatever, you definitely see Kevin Steen. You probably see Kevin Steen just destroy the shit out of Matt Taven in this matchup. Definitely got Kevin Steen winning that one.
Yeah, I got Kevin Steen in that one as well.
All right, now to set up the semifinals, I have Jay Lethal going up against Tommaso Ciampa. Another, this kind of starts to set up my little Jay Lethal going through the old feud kind of setup thing. We had Jay Lethal and Tommaso Ciampa feuding for a really long time, and that just useless kind of feud, but. It's definitely something they can build around besides just having, these setup matches here. But I'm going to go Jay Lethal over Tommaso Ciampa to get Jay Lethal to the finals.
Yeah, I got Adam Cole over Ciampa to get into the finals.
There we go. And then next up, we got Michael Elgin. We both have Michael Elgin versus Kevin Steen. Obviously, we both be looking forward towards this one because this would be some really good stuff. Unfortunately, it's not on TV or anything. It's going to be on a house show. But yeah, this would be some really great stuff. We've seen them in the past in different indies and stuff get together. But definitely go with Michael Elgin in that matchup.
Yep, I got Michael Elgin over Steen in that one as well.
So we have set up, for me, I have a Jay Lethal, Michael Elgin final. He's got a Adam Cole and Michael Elgin final. Both could be really quality matches. The only reason I went with a Jay Lethal besides Adam Cole was the top portion of this. It's either Jay Lethal or Adam Cole you could go with. I would love to see Adam Cole in the finals there and get the shot for the world title. But the reason I'm going with Jay Lethal and the reason that I kind of just had an epiphany moment in the middle of writing this down is back at Supercard of Honor 7 back in April, which was the WrestleMania weekend that Ring of Honor had. They had a matchup between Jay Lethal and Michael Elgin for, I think, a number one contenders shot or whatever. And I remember it being the match of the night for that one. That was the same night that Jay Briscoe beat Kevin Steen for the world title. So they're kind of setting up here. And I could see how they could kind of want to go back to okay, we have this drawn-out tournament. We want to be guaranteed something that has been good in the past. I could see a booking, and it's a smart booking thought. I would want to go with something that I haven't seen in a long time or haven't seen before, like Ryan has set up with an Adam Cole and a Michael Elgin. That's what I would do. But I'm going with kind of what they would be thinking here with okay, we had a great matchup here. It was in New York City the last time. This one's going to be in New York as well. So I could see them kind of setting this up again and, bringing in ties and kind of all that old stuff. If they want to maybe flip one of them in the middle of this tournament, kind of have that kind of thing going back and forth. I could see that with Adam Cole with what they have with Adam Cole and Elgin, or he has with Adam Cole and Elgin set up here. But I have this Jay Lethal Michael Elgin finals here, which is the rematch from Supercard of Honor 7, which was a tremendous matchup, and most people are looking at it as one of the Ring of Honor matches of the year. And I have Michael Elgin winning this tournament and becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah, like I said, my finals, I have Adam Cole versus Elgin. I know this has taken place before, I think in PWG. Probably. Maybe a couple other indies. I think they might have had us a couple singles matches before in Ring of Honor.
Probably.
I like this. The two young guys these two guys, I think, other than maybe Lethal in here, those three guys deserving of being, getting that championship. Yeah. And I think Michael Elgin, is going to take it. I think, he's got that big time, main event look feel, and he's a big guy who can work, and the fans are, on his side now. And, I remember when he first came in and we were just, everyone was shitting on him and just like, you can't wrestle.
His
and
fucking shitty rat hair.
Yeah, and he had like the Sub-Zero mask. Like, what was that, the 9th anniversary?
Oh, yeah, I know. We went to, when did we start? We started that Mortal Kombat chant. It was at that random house show, the meet and greet we went to. We were like, Mortal Kombat! He had the fucking mask over his face.
Yeah, dude. That crowd was giving Michael Elgin mad shit. That was when he first came in with Truth. So, and people were like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah. Now, he goes and has that match against Davey, and since then just exploded, and he was all over the scene, Ring of Honor, just having great matches with everybody. So, I think this guy deserves that title win. And, other than maybe Adam Cole, who's a young guy who can still do, all kinds of stuff also. But I'm going to go Michael Elgin getting the win here at was Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah, Death Before Dishonor. So. Definitely Michael Elgin, the most well-built for this. I think he's been the most pushed to that kind of spot, and people are, wanting it because they've seen what he can do in high-profile matches now. You saw with the match with Davey Richards back at Showdown in the Sun. Showdown in the Sun. I think it was night. I think it was night 2.
Night 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it was during the afternoon or whatever. So we saw that there with that amazing fucking match in both of our matches of the year in 2012 because that was just fucking tremendous. And we've seen time and time again that he can deliver with different types of people and all that kind of stuff. A lot like a Kevin Steen, we've seen guys get in there with different guys. A lot like a Samoa Joe, we've seen with the kind of big bruiser guy, but he gets in there with different talent and can make the match work. And I think this fits to Michael Elgin's character. It fits to his kind of gimmick of being that bruiser type guy to work his way through a tournament and kind of, it just fits it perfectly. And I think it's well built for Michael Elgin to get the win here, and he's been well built to become your new Ring of Honor World Champion. I think that's what we both got here, and I think it'd be a good move on Ring of Honor's behalf to do that. So we both decided it'd be a kind of cool thing to do this and run through it kind of March Mania style and get this all out here to you. But it should be some really interesting stuff to see what happens in this tournament, what happens in the future with the Briscoes as well, which we're both going to be keeping an eye on because if they go to WWE, we'll be fucking glued as a motherfucker to see what they're going to be doing because we've seen hints of the revitalizing of that tag division with the stuff they've seen with the Usos and the Shield, the match that they had there. It's like, we've seen glimpses of what this tag division could be and could become. And if you add in, a top 5, greatest tag team of all time, like a Briscoes and one of the best, if not the best in the past 10 years or whatever, it would be great to see. So it should be interesting if they stay, if they go, whatever they do. I know they say Mark Briscoe just re-signed, so it should be some interesting stuff there to see that in this tournament as well. That we both have Michael Elgin end up winning the World Championship at that Ford Honor in New York City. With this one, I'll wrap up our Pulse Topix show for my partner Ryan. Maybe we'll get back on the same path with the whole shirt ordeal. Maybe not.
Or you can just go fuck yourself.
Okay, I'll do that as well. Thanks, buddy.
V-necks get the pussy. White V-necks get the pussy. Did we mention we both have girlfriends? We both have girlfriends, don't we? High five, wrestling fans, right now. Right.
I love how you said to say white V-necks. If you wear a black V-neck, you're getting cock.
Yeah, you're getting the D. You're so thirsty for the Dizzic. We are not good people.
We are bad. We really are.
I hope our girlfriends
don't see this. That's an influencer. Yeah.
I really hope our girlfriends don't see these videos.
Yeah, they don't need to. That's for damn sure. That is for sure. But yes, like I was saying, so now wrap up. For the Pro Wrestling Pulse, for my partner Ryan, I am J-Man, and thank you for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse. Professional Wrestling World.